Let's quiet your mind tonight. Before you sleep tonight, take a moment to listen to these peaceful psalms. This will help you relax your mind and rest in God's presence. You don't have to do anything complicated. You don't have to try to fix your thoughts or force yourself to feel calm. This is simply a quiet space, a gentle moment where you can be with God before you sleep. If your mind feels busy right now, if thoughts keep circling, if the weight of the day is still sitting on your heart, you are not alone in that. Many nights feel like this. Moments where the body is tired, but the mind refuses to slow down. Moments where small worries grow louder in the silence. Moments where you replay conversations, carry stress, or feel an unexplainable heaviness. Maybe today asked too much of you. Maybe you've been holding everything together for too long. Maybe there are things you can't control, and it's exhausting. And now here you are, trying to rest. Before closing your eyes tonight, take a quiet moment to be with God. Even a simple prayer can bring peace to your heart. You don't need perfect words. You don't need a perfect mindset. God already understands. Right now, just be here. Let this moment be simple. Let it be quiet. You don't have to hold on to everything tonight. You don't have to solve tomorrow. You are allowed to rest in His presence. Jesus once spoke gently to those who were weary, inviting them to come to Him, not with strength, but with their burdens. And that invitation still remains. So if your heart feels full, or your mind feels crowded, you can bring it here. There is no pressure to stay fully awake. No need to follow every word perfectly. If you drift in and out, that's okay. Just let the words settle softly, like calm water, over a restless place. Sometimes the hardest part of the night is not the silence, but the noise within. Thoughts that don't pause, questions without answers, feelings that rise without warning. The Psalms understand this kind of night. They don't pretend everything is easy. They speak honestly, just like your heart does. Listen gently. Lord, how long will this feeling remain? How long will my thoughts trouble me? And sorrow fill my heart day after day. There is something deeply human in these words, a quiet honesty, a recognition that sometimes the mind feels overwhelmed and emotions don't settle easily. You don't have to hide that from God. Another voice cries out, "My soul is in deep anguish. I am worn out from groaning. Through the night my thoughts flood my mind." These words don't rush toward solutions. They don't force peace too quickly. They simply acknowledge what is real. And maybe tonight, that's exactly what you need. Not immediate answers, but understanding. A recognition that your restless thoughts are seen. Even when your mind feels heavy, God is not distant from that place. There is a weight within me, the psalm says, a burden I cannot ignore. My thoughts feel tangled and loud. If your mind feels like that tonight, you are not alone in it. God sees beyond the surface. He understands the layers beneath your thoughts, the worry, the fatigue, the quiet fears you don't always speak aloud. And then, gently, the tone begins to shift. The Lord knows the thoughts of the heart. He understands every anxious mind. Pause there for a moment. God understands. Not just your actions, not just your words, but your thoughts. Even the ones you wish would quiet down. Even the ones that come uninvited. There is nothing about your inner world that is hidden from Him. And still, He remains near. Slowly, a turning begins. My soul clings to the dust, but you restore me according to your word. Even in heaviness, there is a quiet reaching, a movement, not away from the noise, but through it. Teach me your ways, guide my thoughts, lead me into understanding. This is not forced calm, it's something softer, a willingness to be led. even when the mind feels uncertain. Direct me in the path you have set. Let my heart find steadiness in your truth. Notice how the tone shifts again. From chaos to searching to a gentle kind of trust. You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness, a quiet kind of joy. Not loud, not overwhelming, just steady, just enough. If your thoughts are still moving quickly, that's okay. You don't have to force them to stop. Just let these words rest beside them, like a calm presence in the same room. If this moment is helping you feel even a little calmer, you're welcome to quietly say, Amen, or simply notice where you are right now in the world. Others are resting too, seeking peace in the same quiet way. There is something comforting about that, as you remain here. There is no need to rush forward. Your thoughts may still wander. They may rise and fall, but you are no longer alone inside them. God is present, even here. And slowly, very slowly, the night begins to soften. When the heart feels heavy and tired, as the night deepens and the noise of the day continues to fade, there is another layer beneath the restless thoughts. A quieter weight, a deeper tiredness, not just in the mind, but in the heart. Some burdens are not loud. They don't rush or overwhelm all at once. They linger, a slow heaviness carried through the day and felt more clearly when everything becomes still. Maybe you know this feeling, when you've done all you could, and yet something inside still feels unsettled. When you're not just tired from activity, but from carrying emotions. Responsibilities, uncertainty. The Psalms speak to this kind of weariness too, not with urgency, but with honesty. A voice once cried out in the darkness, Lord, I feel surrounded by shadows. Even when I call, the night feels heavy around me. There is no attempt to hide the depth of the feeling, no rush to make it sound hopeful, just truth. And sometimes, that is where healing begins. Another whisper follows. My soul thirsts for you, like dry land longing for rain. There is a quiet longing here, not just for answers, but for relief, for closeness, for something steady. And maybe tonight, your heart feels that same longing. Not for more effort, not for more thinking, but for peace. A peace that doesn't depend on everything being solved. Answer me, Lord, the psalm continues, for my spirit grows faint. Do not hide from me, lest I feel completely alone. Even in these words, there is something important. The desire to not be alone, to be seen, to be met exactly where you are. And God does meet us there. Not after we fix everything, not after we calm ourselves perfectly, but right in the middle of it, then slowly. Like a soft light breaking through, the tone begins to shift again. Yes, my soul finds rest in God. My hope comes from Him. Not something forced, not something achieved through effort, but something found, something received, a quiet resting in someone who holds what you cannot. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my refuge. I will not be shaken. Notice the steadiness in those words. Not loud confidence, but grounded assurance, like standing on something firm after feeling unsteady for so long. And then, one of the most familiar and comforting images begins to unfold. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. A shepherd does not rush the sheep. He leads gently. He watches carefully. He provides without pressure. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. There is something deeply peaceful in that. Still waters. You are being led into rest, even if you don't feel it fully yet. Even if your thoughts still move. He guides me along right paths, for His name's sake. There is direction, even when you don't see the full path. There is care, even when the night feels uncertain. And then comes reassurance for the deeper fears. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid. Not because the valley isn't real, not because everything suddenly changes, but because you are with me. That is where peace begins. Not in perfect circumstances, but in presence. God with you, right here, right now. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Symbols of guidance, of protection, of a steady hand that does not let you wander alone. And as these words settle, another quiet promise rises. I lift my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? A question, simple and honest. And then the answer. My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. The one who created everything is also the one who watches over you. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not sleep. Even now, as you begin to grow more still, God remains awake, watching, holding, guarding. The Lord watches over you. He is your shade at your side, close, near. Not distant. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. There is a deep safety in that truth. Not that nothing difficult ever happens, but that nothing escapes His care. Nothing falls outside His awareness. Nothing is carried alone. As you listen, you don't need to hold on to every word. Just let them pass gently through your thoughts, like a soft current, carrying away what feels heavy. You don't have to keep carrying everything tonight, the things you didn't finish, the questions you couldn't answer, the worries about tomorrow. You can release them, not by force, but by trust. Cast your burden on the Lord, and He will sustain you. You don't have to manage it all. You don't have to figure it all out. There is strength beyond your own, and it is steady, unchanging, present, even here, in the quiet. If your heart still feels heavy, that's okay. It doesn't need to change all at once. Trust grows slowly, like the night settling into stillness, like the mind gradually softening, like the body giving in to rest, and God is patient in that process. He is not rushing you. He is not waiting for you to get it right. He is simply with you. As this moment continues, notice how the weight begins to shift, even slightly, not disappearing, but loosening, becoming something you no longer have to grip so tightly. You are allowed to rest now. You are allowed to let go, even just a little more. God is holding what you release, and He holds it well. the night grows quieter still. And your soul slowly begins to follow. When you feel alone, but you're not. The night has grown quieter now. The sharp edges of the day have softened. The weight you were carrying has begun to loosen. There can still be a lingering feeling, a quiet sense of distance, a subtle loneliness that appears when everything else fades. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's just a thought. Am I really alone in this? The Psalms speak gently into that place too. They remind us that even when we feel alone, we are not. Lord, I come to you, seeking your presence, longing for your guidance. There is something deeply human in that longing. The desire not just for answers, but for companionship, to be known, to be understood, to not walk through life unseen. Show me your ways, teach me your paths. Guide me in your truth, for you are my God. These words are not rushed. They are patient, open. They don't demand immediate clarity, but they invite connection, and God responds to that invitation, not with distance, but with nearness. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Light in darkness, presence in uncertainty. Even when the world feels quiet, even when others are far away, God remains. The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? There is strength here. Not in isolation, but in knowing you are not standing alone. Even now, in this moment, you are held within His awareness. You are not forgotten. Another gentle truth rises. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Close. Not distant, not watching from far away, but near, especially in the moments when you feel most fragile. If your heart has carried quiet pain, if there are things you haven't spoken aloud, if there are wounds still healing, God is not separate from those places. He is near to them. He sees what others cannot. He understands what is difficult to explain, and He stays. As the night continues, the sense of presence grows deeper, more personal, more intimate. You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. Not just in part, but completely. You know when I sit and when I rise. You understand my thoughts from afar, even the thoughts you couldn't quiet earlier. Even the ones that came without invitation, God already knows them. And still, He remains. You are familiar with all my ways. Nothing about you is hidden. Nothing needs to be filtered. You hem me in, behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. There is protection in that image. Surrounded, not trapped, but held, guarded on every side, and gently rested under His hand. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? The answer is simple. Nowhere. There is no place where God is not. Not in the noise of the day. Not in the silence of the night. Not in your questions. Not in your weariness. If I lie down in the depths, you are there. Even here, as you lie down, God is here. Not distant, not distracted, present. If I settle on the far side of the sea, even there, your hand will guide me. There is no distance that separates you from Him, no feeling of loneliness that removes His presence. Even when it feels quiet, He is still near. Let that truth rest gently within you. You are not alone, not in your thoughts, not in your emotions, not in this night. God is here, and He is attentive. The Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and rich in love. His presence is not harsh, it is gentle, patient. The Lord is near to all who call on Him. To all who call on Him in truth. You don't need perfect words. Even a quiet reaching, even a silent awareness is enough. And then, the night brings a familiar promise. In peace, I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Peace, not as an idea, but as a place where you can lie down, a place where you can rest. Safety, not earned but given, not dependent on everything being resolved, but grounded in God's presence. As these words settle, notice how the feeling of isolation begins to fade, not forced, not sudden, but gently replaced, with presence, with quiet companionship, with the awareness that you are seen and known and held. If your mind drifts, that's okay. If your thoughts slow, that's okay too. There is no pressure here, only rest, only peace, only the steady presence of God surrounding you, watching over you, remaining with you through the night. You are not alone in this moment. You have never been, and you never will be. The night continues to deepen, and your soul grows quieter within it. Letting go and trusting God with tomorrow. The night is very still now. What once felt active, what once felt heavy, has softened into quiet. There is nothing left you need to do, no task waiting, no answer required. This moment is no longer about thinking or figuring things out. It is about resting, gently, completely, in the presence of God. There are things we carry through the day without even realizing it. Concerns about tomorrow, responsibilities we haven't finished, questions that remain unanswered. But the songs offer a quiet invitation. Into your hands I commit my spirit. You have redeemed me, Lord, faithful God. A simple act of trust, not holding on, but placing everything into His care. You don't have to carry tomorrow tonight. You don't have to solve what hasn't happened yet. You can release it. Slowly, gently, completely. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and find safe pasture. There is something steady in those words. A life that is not rushed. Not pressured, but grounded. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him, and He will act. You are not responsible for everything. You are not alone in what comes next. There is a greater hand guiding your path. And that means you can rest. Cast your cares on the Lord, and He will sustain you. Not just listen, not just observe, but sustain, hold, support, carry what feels too heavy. So whatever is still on your mind, whatever lingers quietly in your thoughts, you can let it go now. You don't need to hold it any longer. Be still and know that I am God. Not forced silence, but a deep quiet within. A calm that doesn't need effort, just awareness. God is here, and that is enough. The Lord surrounds his people, both now and forevermore. You are surrounded, not by word, but by presence, by protection, by a quiet strength that does not leave. Surely the righteous will never be shaken. They will be remembered forever. There is stability here, a sense of being held in something lasting, something unchanging. Even as everything else shifts, God remains. Their hearts are steady, trusting in the Lord. Steady, not rushed, not overwhelmed, just calm. Just settled. Even now, your heart is moving toward that place. You don't have to force it. It happens slowly, naturally, as you rest here. The words begin to soften now, shorter, gentler, like the quiet rhythm of the night. My soul is quieted within me, like a child at rest. There is no striving here, no tension, just stillness, like a child who feels safe and no longer needs to stay awake. On my bed, I remember you. I think of you through the watches of the night. Even as sleep comes, God remains near, not distant, not absent, present. Through every moment, because you are my help, I rest in the shadow of your wings, a place of shelter, a place of peace, a place where nothing needs to be held tightly anymore. It is good to rest, to reflect quietly, to find peace in your presence. The night was not meant to be filled with striving. It was made for rest, for renewal, for letting go. How good and pleasant it is when peace settles gently. And now, without effort, he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. Rest, not something distant, something happening, even now. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge, my place of safety. A refuge does not demand anything from you. It simply receives you, just as you are, without effort, without condition. He will cover you with His presence, and under His care, you will find rest. You are covered, held, protected. There is nothing you need to watch over, nothing you need to guard. God is doing that for you. You will not fear the night, nor the quiet darkness. The night is no longer something to resist. It is something to rest within. Because you are not alone in it. And now, the final words begin to settle like a gentle closing. I lie down and I sleep in peace. Not striving, not thinking, just resting, because you, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Safety that does not fade, peace that does not depend on circumstances. A rest that is deeper than sleep itself. Everything slows here. The words become fewer. The spaces between them grow longer. There is nothing more you need to follow. Nothing more you need to do. Just rest. You are safe. You are held. You can rest. You are safe. You are held. You can rest. You are safe. You are held. You can rest. The night is quiet. God is near. And sleep comes gently now.